Good evening, welcome to the program. Today we are going to see one more important topic on outsourcing, specifically focused towards logistic. In any manufacturing organization, outsourcing or subcontracting or getting it from any component or product or service was very popular. But there are some other reasons why we need to outsource logistic, and especially now logistic is gaining importance in many industries because of delivery requirement. The delivery time is shrinking more and more. Also, the transit time required to reach the customer from the dispatch location is also shrinking. Now you are seeing most of the time the delivery for the grocery has been come to 15-20 minutes from the time of order. Now Swiggy, they are talking about delivering any food item within 10 minutes. So there are a lot of changes happening in the logistics sector. It's not only the delivery portion, but previous to that delivery, how they are packaging or presenting the product to the customer also becomes important. So in the future, we will see lot of transformation taking place, especially in logistic and supply chain sector. So let me take through some of the slides in outsourcing. Allow me a few seconds to load the screen. Hope all of you are able to see the screen, also hear my voice. Someone please confirm that. So now the screen is loading. Allow me a few seconds. This session is being live streamed across various social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Even if you are watching offline, you can always comment or note down our WhatsApp number so that you can reach to me or our executive if you have doubts or clarification. So today's topic we are going to see on logistic outsourcing. Is it really beneficial for the organization when they want to outsource? Whether it's meant really only for manufacturing or even distribution companies. For example, e-commerce company, for them, logistic is the core competency. Should they outsource their logistic activity is a question. So let us understand some of the intricacies in this process. So, whenever you decide to outsource, you may go either to 3PL, 4PL, or 5PL, or some of them call themselves as a total supply chain solution provider. So, before we dive briefly my introduction, my name is Pataviraman. This is my Udemy profile. I have nearly 1,500 candidates enrolled in the last 1 month, and this is my LinkedIn profile. You are always welcome to connect or follow me. I am searchable using the keyword supply chain master. Regarding my qualification, I am an engineer with a PG degree in management and data science. I have worked nearly 25 years in this multiple global organizations, predominantly in supply chain. So during my career, I have seen end-to-end supply chain management at various levels. Last 10 years in this organization, I was heading the supply chain. Now, in the current organization where I am working as a CEO for the last 4 years, which is known as Thoughtware Training Private Limited. As far as my certification is concerned, I'm APIX certified professional. I have all this qualification. If you are in logistic sector and looking for a globally recognized certification, you can go for this APIX CLTD. CLTD means certified in logistic distribution and transportation. Okay, similar the global certification are available. One from UK, which is known as SILT. Okay, CILT, but it is not recognized so much in India. Maybe some parts of Europe as well as Gulf country they can recognize. Okay. Apart from this, I am also certified from demand driven institute like demand driven planner professional. I am also a certified purchasing manager apart from project management professional. Coming to our organization, we are based in Bangalore, 5-year-old organization. We provide both consulting and training in the field of supply chain management. Coming to one important question when we talk about outsourcing is core competency. So you should know what is core competency. If you are not do not possess certain things as a core competency, then you need to outsource. So first you should know what is core competency, a thing or activity which you can do better than anyone else outside the organization. That becomes the core competency. It can be any activity, it can be logistic, it can be manufacturing, it can be design. Okay, but though we are focusing in this program logistic. So when we talk about logistic, you should see whether logistic is it a core competency for your organization. Okay, generally many of the manufacturing organization logistic is not core competency, so they try to outsource. But what happens to the e-commerce platform? For them, the logistic should be the core competency, but you may see they are also subcontracting some of the activities, specifically in India. Okay, but it is in a different format in different parts of the world. So first, whether you are in e-commerce or retailing or in manufacturing, you should understand what is the strength of your organization, and specifically you should ask whether logistic is the core strength of your organization. And inside the logistic there can be various activity like warehousing, transportation, or CFA, for example import export, custom clearance. So many things can come under outside the service provider. So you should understand which one is the core competency for your organization. And it is not a general rule for every organization that you should go and outsource everything, including logistic. You should understand whether it will make sense for your organization. The benefits of outsourcing logistic process to a third party logistic provider, 3PL, is well documented. Suppose consider you don't have that competency, you can always outsource to a outside party who is capable and efficient, effective. You can always outsource, because there is one more reason. The world's economy has becoming increasingly complex. Okay, it has become impossible for a single entity to control everything under the one umbrella. So they may try to specialize in some of the operation and depend on outside parties for some of the organization. Okay, for this reason, more companies are turning towards 3PL to help with the cost reduction, overall management of supply chain process. Cost reduction was there in traditional sense, but now the outside service provider can do much more activity than only resulting in a final cost reduction. For example, now people are looking for a shorter transit time or delivery time, so that can be a value addition. Or you can also think in terms of doing some sub assembly or labeling or kitting can also be a value addition which can be done by the outside service provider. And you should also be clear what service you need to outsource. Because logistic is a big ocean. Under logistic there are several services possible. For example, better inventory management. Possibly if your organization is not very good in inventory management, it is better to outsource. Of course, when we talk about inventory management here, it's also once again one section of inventory management. Normally, we do not outsource the planning of inventory management. Here, when we talk logistic angle, we are talking about physical inventory and management. Okay, second one could be auditing service, small package processing and shipping, labeling. You can see some of these activities are value added activities, and some are high technological oriented. For example, using IoT and tracking the consignment could be a new thing which is going to come in the coming months or year. Advanced order or payment processing, defined roles of importer and exporter. Possibly many organizations they will go for some CFA, okay, freight forwarding agent to clear their consignment whenever they are in the business of import export, and they would not like to have this as their specialization. Preventive maintenance initiatives, and TMS, Transportation Management System. So there are so many things. The supply chain solution provider or third party logistic provider can provide a service in any of this angle. Coming to before you take these provider service, they are you should understand a few important things. They are not designed for short term benefits. Okay, it's not that you are going to engage them for 2 weeks and then throw them away and then call them after 3 months. No, it's not going to work. It's also a part of collaboration technique, it's also a partnership technique. So you go in for such outsourcing only if you are intended to have long term benefits. Okay, and also it should be mutual beneficial. Okay, earlier we were squeezing the supplier, reducing the price, but now the concept is it should be mutually beneficial. Your vendor should also grow along with you, and also you need to support him whenever he is in a problem. Any of the live participants, if you have any questions, you can type in the LinkedIn comments. I will be able to respond to it. So, core reason to outsource a non-core function like transportation management. There have been multiple surveys on this. Why they are outsourcing a particular activity to a specialist. The main reason they have told is cutting the transportation cost or business process improvement, improving customer service. So you can see, possibly if you are outsourcing money transportation, possibly you are depending on a specialist to operate that function in most cost economic way. And by outsourcing, it's also going to increase your ability to focus. If you are a manufacturing organization, possibly you should focus on the core activity. Core activity could be design, or it could be manufacturing, or any similar process within your organization. So if you are outsourcing something which is not core, it relieves you from that focus, and you can focus on this core. Okay, so it gives you 100% of your attention to your core business functions. Okay, that is one of the main reason. Of course, I have seen in my previous organization, apart from cost reduction or better service, we went to outside partners to do to two important things. Many multinational companies, they do not want a huge headcount. Okay, in fact, some of the metrics is how much turnover you are doing per head is also one of the metric. So they do not want to show huge number of people working under the organization role. So that's where we need to outsource. Okay, when you outsource a third party, possibly it doesn't come under your employee role. This is what most of the multinational company they believe. When you have fewer people, then you are doing in a lean way or better way, but that need not be correct. The second reason why we went for outsourcing is We wanted to avoid labor problem or union problem, so we outsource to third party, and this could be a hidden agenda for many of the organization. Possibly you have to check what is really the reason behind for one organization going for outsourcing. Okay. So when you want to go to outsourcing, 3PL comes to your mind. There are so many numbers of 3PL who is having various special services. For example, transportation, warehousing, cross docking, inventory management, packaging, freight forwarding. And the characteristic is you can see various activity. For example, you can take them only for warehouse or distribution activity. Okay, there are some example given, especially in US, but in India also we have a lot of 3PL who can provide a specific task. Okay, if you are looking only for warehousing and distribution, there are people available who can take up the job. Forwarder based third party logistics service, suppose if you are in import export and you are sending your product maybe by sea or air, that's a special activity. You need a team of people who knows, starting from the method of export packing and documentation preparation and dealing with the customs and other authorities. Possibly your organization may not have that skill, that's where you have to depend on. Yeah, CFA, or CFA is also a third party logistic. Okay, they are either asset based or non asset based. We will see shortly what does it mean. So you have a lot of examples like Kune, Nogal, CH Robinson. These people also work in India. There are somebody who can do only shipper management based third party logistic. Okay, shipping process from beginning to end, mostly involved in the transportation. Okay, they may also use higher end, for example TMS they may use, especially when we are looking for a shorter delivery time. Okay, they may be able to provide the freight data or matrix report, real-time visibility. So you can see a lot of example which is also available in India. In US specifically, they also use financial based third party logistic. They will be able to do a freight payment and auditing, cost accounting and control. Generally, this type of activity is not so much popular in India, but US, Canada, they use this type of activity also as a outsourced activity, especially in logistics sector. You can see the example of this activity we are providing. Coming to the information based firm, possibly they are highly technological oriented, like having internet based business to business e-market for transportation and logistic provider. Maybe this aspect is picking up and likely to the future in the near term. So you can also see the examples of such IT based 3PL. And we need to understand asset and non-asset based organization. When you are trying to outsource from a third party, they may be owning some of the equipment. It could be vehicle or warehouses, but there are some third party logistic or service provider who may not own any asset, but they may manage other asset based organization. Normally, if it is a asset-based organization, they are called 3PL, and if they do not have any asset, then it becomes 4PL. Okay, there are specific advantages for both the asset and non-asset-based organization. This is where we split them as a 3PL and 4PL. And 3PL is the basic service asset based service provider, and 70 to 80% of outside service provider fall under this category. Possibly you are employing them for a transportation or warehouse management or IT tools management, like that. Okay, whereas when you come to 4PL or lead logistic provider, they are not asset based. They may employ several other 3PL or agencies to accomplish their task. Maybe they are of a higher level. Apart from managing this activity, they may be also be able to support you in terms of strategic planning or warehouse network planning. So they have the additional capability to manage the supply chain. So you can see the 4PL are non-asset based organization. They are also called as LLP, lead logistic provider. But what happens to 1PL to 2PL? 1PL was the original. The organization was managing inside one function depending on other function. So that was primarily 1PL. 2PL may be between a carrier and a shipper. Okay, it's a contract between a carrier and shipper. But for last 2 or 3 decades, we are going to a 3PL. Okay, and also there is 5PL now coming into picture. Those service providers who also can integrate with e-commerce platform, they become 5PL. So you can see in this simple sketch how these various logistic service providers are placed. On the top 1PL, it is directly by the cargo owner. Second one, it could be a carrier only depending on transportation. Whereas when you come to the 3PL, it is for most of the activity under logistic, but 4PL is more of a supply chain management. This is where strategic planning or network mapping or solution also gets integrated. 5PL, though not shown here, they integrate e-commerce platform into their operation, and that's what is happening in many organization. And there is no clear boundary as it is. The people sometimes they call themselves as 4PL or supply chain solution provider because they tend to give a fancy title to many of this organization. So possibly you may be wondering why these people are keeping such a type of a name. So I tried to give a brief introduction. We have a self-paced program in our website dealing with 3PL, 4PL, and there you will get more information on why it is required, what are the benefits, and how you can implement a 3PL project. Also, for a people who are entering into supply chain and logistic profile, this is a basic entry medium to enter that. If you are looking for a job and not getting interview call, possibly you have to look for a job provided by 3PL that can serve as a entry level platform, and subsequently you can keep jumping. In India also there are various service provider, for example Mahindra Logistic or TVS Supply Chain. There are so many people are available. So if you are searching for a job for a long time, not getting it, so this could be one opportunity to enter those organizations. If you need any additional information, you are welcome to visit our website or contact our executive with the WhatsApp number given here. So any of the live participant, any questions or doubts or clarification, you can type in the comments. I am available for a couple of minutes to receive your queries. Whenever we do a live program and when people are participating, it is always better for interaction. Otherwise, it becomes like watching a video. Okay. So any of you have any doubts or clarification, you can always type in the comments so that it is really beneficial to you. Okay, we will conclude this session. Thanks for watching. Bye. Have a nice evening.